This is Alejandro Cremades, and today we're going to be talking about how to position the team in a pitch deck. So before we get started, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and this way you will never miss out on any of the videos that we roll out every week. So you probably heard investors that invest in startups all the time when they are asked, what do you look for the most in startups before you make an investment? They always say team, team, and team. So team is absolutely everything. So in today's video, we're gonna really explain, break it down for you so that you really understand how to convey this, whether it's in your presentation or in your narrative. So with that being said, let's get into it. So what's the most important slide in your pitch deck? So some investors may think it's the financials, some investors think it's probably the problem or the solution, but the team has to be one of the most important slides. In fact, there's been studies that were conducted that really determined that investors on average spend 2 minutes and 41 seconds per presentation, and out of those 2 minutes and 41 seconds, the two slides where they spend the most amount of time on is the financials and also the team. So the team is a critical component of it because it's going to allow for the investor to know what kind of background, what kind of expertise, and how well those founders or that team is going to be able to steer the ship into the right path, into the right journey. So when it comes to really understanding what the investor is going to look for when they're looking at the team, when they're looking at maybe making an investment, doing the due diligence or reviewing your slides, they really want to come across two things. One is the ability in order to execute, because as they say, 5% is the idea, 95% is the execution. So they want to know that over the course of time, whatever promises that you and your team are making, you're actually delivering over the course of time. So that's for the ability of execution. Now, the other thing is the commitment. When you're, for example, like putting in your slides, the team, make sure that you can put your hands on the fire, that those individuals are going to be sticking around for at least 6 months or more. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're adding more concerns rather than removing concerns. And remember that in fundraising, it's all about removing concerns, because the concerns that you're going to encounter is what separates you and the money. So that's why you want to remove those concerns and you do not want to add more. So when it comes to the commitment, you want people that are going to be sticking around for the long run. And one of the things that you can do and that you can convey is essentially that you've put together perhaps a plan or an equity incentive plan where you are rewarding your employees over the course of the long run in the event that certain milestones or perhaps certain period of time that they stick around. And that essentially unlocks certain equity that would be assigned to them. So that essentially creates also the commitment for these people to stick around. So when it comes to the capabilities, in terms of the capabilities, the investor is going to want to know what is perhaps the domain expertise that you have and that your team has. For how long have you been involved in this space, in this segment? I mean, what have you done in the past? Perhaps when you're there looking at your team, they're going to want to know what other companies have they been at? What kind of networks have you been able to build around you? Whether that is advisors, former colleagues, former classmates, whatever that is, but that you've been involved in the space. I mean, typically one great thing that you can do on the team slide of the pitch deck is perhaps to put the logos of the different companies that the management has been working at, and perhaps even the years of experience that they have in this specific segment. So that conveys the experience, perhaps the domain authority that you have, and the leadership approach, and that's something that you really want to have coming across as a point. So who is going to count as part of the team on the pitch deck? So here you're going to have 3 key areas. You're going to have on one end the co-founders. You're going to have the executives, and you're going to have the advisors and perhaps members of the board of directors. Obviously, depending on your stage, in which life cycle you are in the execution of the business. Now, the co-founders is essentially who created this business, whether it was you and your partners. So basically, this is what you're gonna be outlining. You can either create the founding team type of slide, or you can perhaps create the leadership team type of slide where you are putting yourselves and your partners with your title and perhaps also the fact that you are a founder. Now, the executives, essentially what you want to do is you want to include the C-suites. You want to avoid including your intern or including this person that just started that is super junior, because it's, as we said, all about the expertise and the authority that you have in the space. So with this in mind, essentially what you want is just put the top C-level executives that are actually part of the leadership team of the business. Now, on the advisors, maybe you do not want to put perhaps the executives and then also the advisors in one single slide, because that could be overwhelming. So really break it out where you have the executives and the founders on one slide and then the advisors or the board members on another slide. So here on the advisors, you want to put people that have the expertise, the type of advice that they are providing to you, and then also on the board members, more of the same. Maybe it could be an investor that they have invested in your business. Now, going back to the executives and the founding team, what you want to do is avoid putting long format type of bios on the presentation. What you want to do is include 2 bullet points. Number 1, what is the biggest accomplishment of that individual to date? And number 2 is perhaps the previous companies that they have worked at and the number of years that they have executing in this specific space. So what if you're not sure about your team? What you can do is essentially go out and hire people that could be great fits for the executive team. You can also perhaps use equity to incentivize them. You can perhaps go and get another co-founder. Maybe you're technical, maybe someone on the business side, or maybe you're on the business side and you need someone on the technical side. But there's always incentives that you can use and essentially use that equity approach. So remember to hit a like on this video, leave a comment and let me know what you're up to, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on all the videos that we're rolling out every week. And then also, if you're raising capital, feel free to shoot me a note at alejandro@pantheraadvisors.com. We'd love to help out. Thank you so much for watching.